and wife are in church. And the preacher notices that the husband has fallen asleep and says to the wife, "Wake your husband up." And the wife says, "You're the one that made him go to sleep. You wake him up." Hopefully he won't fall asleep this morning. The theme today, we are celebrating Epiphany today, and the theme is what a revelation. I should have picked different words because it doesn't come out. But just to explain that, Epiphany is commonly known as Three Kings Day, or the Feast of the Epiphany. And it basically means a manifestation or showing forth theophany, manifestation of God. And different traditions celebrate different things. So there are two things that are celebrated on this day. And this is where Jesus was manifested to the three kings, but also some of the more Eastern Orthodox churches focus on Jesus' baptism. So, I am guessing that most of you have heard the story of the three kings.
Yes.
All of you?
Yeah,
We
do.
Great. So you know what happened. You know that the Magi, the Zoroastrians, the wise men, the hippie, new age people came to see the infant Jesus in Bethlehem. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking on it. You keep up with me. You also know that actually they didn't get here on January the 5th.
Yes.
Because, it took a lot longer for them to get there, and that Jesus was probably gone. But they found him somewhere en route, and that didn't make such a pretty nativity scene, so we have them here today. Are we okay there?
Yes.
Okay, so we can move on. And I'm going to share with you, I have shared a little bit of this before in the past. This is a wonderful book. It's from the beginning of the 1900s. And it's called The Story of the Other Wise Man. And it's by Henry Van Dyke. If anybody wants to read it, it's a short read and it's fabulous. But I'm going to give you an overview of what happens in this book. So there's this man called Artaban, and he's in Persia. Now, like the other Magi, he sees the signs coming from heaven proclaiming that the king has been born. And like them, he sets out to see this newborn ruler. And he carries his treasures with him on the way. Now, he's got a sapphire, he's got a ruby, and a pearl of great price. However, unlike the other Magi, he stops en route. See, he's got to get from where he is to where the caravan is that's going to go across to see Jesus. But on the way, he sees a dying man. And because of that, he's late for the caravan. And so what does that mean for him? Well, he's on a horse. So he can't get across the desert on a horse. So he has to sell one of his treasures to get a camel. And all the supplies that he needs to travel across. So once he's done that, he commences his journey. But he arrives in Bethlehem too late. And Jesus is gone. You see, the parents have fled to Egypt. Well, that's the next bit of the story. And because of what's going on, he happens in the midst of all of this to save another child because of his treasures. So then he thinks, well, I need to go where Jesus is, so I'm going to travel to Egypt. And then he goes to many other countries searching for Jesus. And after many acts of charity along the way, after 33 years, Artaban is still a pilgrim and a seeker of light. And he arrives in Jerusalem. Guess what's going on? Crucifixion. And at this time, he spends his last treasure, the pearl, to ransom a young woman who's being sold into slavery. And then just after this happens, he's struck on the head by a falling roof tile. Like he hasn't had enough bad luck. You think your lives are bad? And he's about to die. And having failed in his quest to find Jesus, but having done so much good through his charitable works, a voice rests on him and says, Verily I say unto you, that whatever you have done for the least of these, you have done it for me. And he dies calm. He has a radiance of wonder and joy, and his treasures were accepted. Finally, this wise man found his king. His epiphany and his revelation was that although he thought he had to go with the caravan together to go and present his gifts, actually the gifts that he had were for the other people that he met along the way. And this is the example of that gospel passage from Matthew that's the sheep and the goats. You know, whatever you have done for the least of these, you have done for me. And some of them will say, well, you know, I am holy and I've prayed and I bought gold and I bought this, that and the other. But if you ignored all these people on the way, you've done nothing for me. He found God in all that he had done. So what's your revelation? We have it in our heads. What is the right way to God? Now I bet if I was to sit down with every single one of you after worship and say, what is the right way to God? You would have an answer for me, because that's what we all have. We may not be quite sure what that answer is, but we know we have something. Each of us will have a different answer than the other. We may word it differently, we may have a different belief of what happens here, what happens here. What do we do when we hear somebody else say their way is right and it's different to ours? The story told us that the three wise men went off and their way was right, because that's what they had to do. They had to go. Herod told them they had to go here. They went. They presented their gifts. They had to go away, come back. Maybe God told our man not to go that way and to do this and to do this and to do that. But then we see that he's missed the big deal. He missed it all. And we would think that maybe he got it wrong. But we think that about each other sometimes. And I was interested this morning in looking at somebody that I consider to be an extremely wonderful example of how we travel our journey of faith and have things revealed to us through other faiths and through other traditions and through other beliefs. And that person is Gandhi. I'm pretty sure we all know Gandhi. At a celebration of his birthday in 2018, the president of the 73rd session of the UN General Assembly said, "The name and image of Gandhi evoke the very concepts of peace, of restraint and passivity, even in the face of violence and extremism." And this was in 2018, and it's incredible, even though he's been dead for 70 years, when you speak of him, you can almost feel yourself sense that peace. Gandhi wasn't Christian. But how many Christians feel that sense of peace when they speak of him? Gandhi wasn't Jewish. But how many Jewish people feel that sense of peace when they speak of him? He wasn't, and the list goes on. He was a Hindu. And he drew from many faiths in his philosophy and actions. And he actually, in part of his religious pluralism, expressed some things that I want to share with you. I believe in the fundamental truth of all great religions of the world. And I believe that if only we could, all of us, read the scriptures of the different faiths from the standpoint of the followers of those faiths, we should find that they were at the bottom all one and were all helpful to one another. He also said, belief in one God is the cornerstone of all religions, but I do not foresee a time when there would only be one religion on earth. Not in practice. In theory, since there is one God, there can only be one religion. The one religion is beyond all speech. The imperfect person put it into such language that they can command, and their words are interpreted by other people equally imperfect. Hence the necessity for tolerance, which doesn't mean indifference towards one's own faith, but a more intelligent and pure love for it. And what he's saying is that just because you can learn something from the Hindu tradition doesn't mean that you're letting go of anything of yours. It can strengthen yours. My question for us this morning is, how are we going to let Epiphany change us so that we can continue our journey like Gandhi, like Jesus, in peace, at peace, and responding with peace? There's so much going on in the news at the moment that you just want to tear your hair out. Those of us that have any. But if we can walk the same route that they walked, we can be in peace, at peace, and respond with peace. Now we can be like the three wise men and get there first, give our gifts, look good, feature in every nativity scene in the world for thousands of years. Or we can get down and get on with it, like Artaban. Realizing that the top dog and the picture in the nativity scene is just a small portion of what is good. Our revelation is just that, ours. So your revelation and your revelation, yours will be different. We can't all see and hear the same thing from the same message. But what we can do is share those revelations. Because by sharing, we learn about each other. And we learn about each other's faith. And sometimes it's easier for Christians to have conversations with people from other faiths than it is with other Christians. I want to challenge us to have conversations with each other so that we can learn about our own faith, but also that of others. We learn then how to be in community and in relationship. I really pray that you will let God be revealed to you this morning. Not just this morning, but each and every day in new, wonderful, and profound ways.